What is going on, everyone? It's your guy Cole Jackson back here on Road Graders, powered today by BetUS, and we are going to be taking a specific look at the Buffalo Bills offense, taking a look at Josh Allen, James Cook, some of the key playmakers coming to host the Baltimore Ravens this weekend. If you guys are getting fired up for this matchup, if you're ready to go, hit that like button, hit subscribe if you're new here, and drop a comment down below with your score predictions. I want to know what you guys think. I want to know how you think we contain Allen. So what I wanted to do was look at kind of the big things I think the Baltimore Ravens need to do to limit this offense. This offense can score. Obviously, that didn't come to fruition in the week 4 matchup. Throw that matchup out the door. Both teams are different now, positives and weaknesses. The Ravens obviously have a completely different safety duo, as we're going to see here in a second when we take a look at a couple plays from that game. Marcus Williams and Eddie Jackson played a lot in that game. They're gone, both of them. Gonzo. Now we have a completely different safety rotation. It's a completely different defense in terms of how it's being called, its makeup, its efficiency in the back end. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup. But what I want to look at is, what does Josh Allen do so well? And specifically in his improvisation skills, because we all know he's a gunslinger. We can take a look at that all day, but I think you guys already kind of know that. I kind of want to focus on some of the key aspects, and I want to start with a quote that Marlon Humphrey put out today. Yesterday. I'm recording this Wednesday night. So Sarah Allison tweeted it. Marlon Humphrey on what's so tough about facing Josh Allen. He said, the play is never really over. And then when he runs, he's a big dude. He can juke you, but he can run over you and keep running very easily. And that, to me, is the play is never over is the perfect mindset that this Baltimore Ravens defense needs to maintain. And let's take a look at why in the pass game first. So we're going to start here. This is what I did is I went into NFL Pro. I filtered how did I do that? I filtered pressured throws and then deep throws. So these are pressured deep throws where Josh Allen connected. And so Josh Allen, when he gets pressure, he tends to roll out right. He's a right-handed quarterback. That's not anything unique, or that's not really a tendency. But what he does is he rolls out to his right and looks to throw deep downfield. And that's exactly what caught the Ravens here back in week 4 on one of the only big plays they gave up. So you're going to see the pressure is going to come from the left side. Josh Allen rolls out to his right, and Eddie Jackson steps up there. And we'll take a look at the other angle just to specifically look, and finds Khalil Shakir. So Eddie Jackson, if you go right back here, Nate Wiggins is the play side corner. Eddie Jackson just literally needs to hold where he is. He's got a guy at the 40, and then you got Shakir. I believe that's Shakir. And so you're going to see he's going to step up, and then you got two guys covering whoever was coming across. I believe it's Keon Coleman, and Khalil Shakir just runs right by him. So that's just Eddie Jackson not playing very aware football right there. But this throw by Allen, I'll show you the other angle just to see. Like this is ridiculous stuff. This is stuff that Lamar Jackson does. This is stuff that Patrick Mahomes do. They're the only 3 quarterbacks that do this. Watch this throw while he's fading out of bounds with the pressure coming right there to find him. And this is exactly what Marlon Humphrey's saying. The play's never over. You can't give up on your coverage. You'll see on this play, he's going to roll out to his right again. I'll say that over and over again. Roll out to his right. The left side receiver is going to come across the field and make this catch. Almost the exact type of fadeaway throw that he's going to make. So there's that pressure. Okay, time to roll out right. And look, he's got an opportunity to scramble here. He's got a scramble lane. And this is what I'm saying. It's Josh Allen will scramble, of course. We know that. But when he rolls out to his right, he's looking downfield to make a pass. And that's why these DBs on Sunday cannot give up. They need to play until that whistle's done, until that ball hits the ground. And so, again, here's that left side receiver up at about the 35-yard line. He's going to start to work towards the open field. And that's exactly what Josh Allen's seeing. And there's that boom sling. And there's a ridiculous throw and catch for, a 45-yard gain. We'll see it again here from the other angle. Pressure comes, roll out right, and you can see right there, those 2 white jerseys right there are at the bottom of the screen. They're running the other way. Plenty of room to scramble. But Josh Allen right there, eyes downfield, fadeaway throw, ridiculous catch. So this is just kind of one of his things. When he rolls out right, facing pressure, Baltimore secondary needs to be sticking to it, playing through to the whistle. Pressure's going to come up. There we go out right again. and sling the ball down. Then he finds Mac Hollins right there for another big gain. Mac Hollins goes out of bounds. Constant throughout his film when he's being pressured. Pressure's going to come up the middle. Roll out to your right. See the improvise right there? Right there, getting open in the middle. It's constant throughout his tape. This one's a little different. This is a play action rollout, so I mean he's designed to roll out to his right, but same kind of concept, right? He's boom, roll out to his right. Pressure's going to come up his face. Evades it. Eyes downfield, and then is able to find his guy deep. And that type of touch on that ball, like that is such a difficult high. That's such a good throw. I'm telling you, the only other quarterbacks that you're going to see doing this consistently is Lamar Jackson and is Patrick Mahomes, and all three are quarterbacks left in the AFC playoffs out of 4 teams. Just ridiculous alien stuff out of these guys. Here we'll see a touchdown. He's going to roll out to his right. Boom, can't find anyone. Roll it to the right. Let guys get open. Throw it off the back shoulder. Keon Coleman goes up and makes a play. That ball probably should have been picked. And then this was the touchdown scored against the Broncos on the weekend. Once again, roll out right. And you can see right here at the bottom of your screen, bottom left, on the 10-yard line, that's Ty Johnson. So that's where Josh Allen's looking because he sees all this open field down in the end zone. And he's just going to stand there and hop until he's able to get open. And look at that throw. Perfect. And that, consistently throughout all these clips, it's not so much that obviously they're really good throws, especially high difficulty throwing off back foot, fading away, all that good stuff. But the big thing to me throughout all of these is his patience, the ability to kind of wait for somebody to open, and then just kind of it's difficult for that secondary to stick for that long. Before we move any farther, do want to give a shout out to our sponsors for this video, BetUS. Lines up and ready to go for this weekend. Get over there to BetUS. You will get a 150% sign up bonus by using promo code YouTube150. Go over there, put the promo code in. More money for you, more money in your pocket. So that's one of the keys to me is. And the other thing that I didn't really put into clips, but I did want to talk about a little bit is, we talk about this so much with Odafe Owe, right? Calling him almost Owe. And, the key thing is here, when we get home with a pass rush, they need to make their tackles. There needs to be sacks. They need to be able to take Josh Allen to the ground because he's one of those guys. It's like, he's got the evasion power of Ben Roethlisberger, but he can actually run, if that makes any sense to anybody. Lamar's slippery. Josh Allen's more of like a tank, right? So it's just when they get to him, we can't have missed sacks. When you get to him, you got to be able to take him down to the ground. We got to be able to convert some of those pressures, some of those QB hits into sacks this weekend. Absolutely essential. Can't let him slip away. And then obviously within what Josh Allen does so well, there's his ability to take off in the run game. Now, this is going to be the 4th and 2 against the Kansas City Chiefs. And this is what I mean. Like, it's easy to sit there and say he never scrambles, but that's obviously ridiculous. He always does. And here he just has such good vision. And right here, this is what Marlon Humphrey's saying. He's just running through tackles. We get to see Lamar Jackson on a weekly basis do insane things as an elusive runner. And then Josh Allen's elusive in his own right, but he can just run through guys, right? And that's just rare, very unique for a quarterback to be able to do that. You're going to see right here some of that elusiveness. So use that pump fake to get around the D tackle, and then there's that juke and getting down there for 20 yards. So, he's able to do this stuff so consistently. And one thing that I'm noticing, especially from some of these Rams scrambles, he had like 3 big scrambles in this Rams game. There's no linebackers in the middle of this field. They are vacating into coverage, and that to me is a big key. They are going to have to use some sort of spy, whether that's using an overhang defender, like a safety stepping up, or whether or not that's Rowe going sideline to sideline. My biggest concern is Malik Harrison kind of getting stuck in coverage or stuck in a spy role against Josh Allen and then having to chase him down. And you'll kind of see here from the Rams linebackers. So again, you're going to see them drop into coverage. 48 is going to kind of give that mirror a little bit there, and he's going to come back. But Josh Allen's able to take the corner around him. And that was a 30-yard scramble right there. Just completely flips the field in one scramble. So that's one thing that they need to be able to do, is be able to chase him down. And part of that is keeping him contained within the pocket so that he's not rolling out and getting a little bit more wider field. But it really starts with the pass rush, right? It's if they're able to, especially the interior pass rush, if they're able to push up and make him start to bail, then that's where, if they're playing contain with their edges, they can actually get hands on them, force throwaways, that sort of thing. That's what the Ravens did pretty well in the first matchup, was they kind of used that interior pressure, and then they had, kind of those slow rushes from Kyle Van Noy and Odafe Owe, where they would then be able to force some throwaways. Here we're going to see another one against the Colts, and this is very telling. Colts have pretty athletic linebackers, and right there, he's just working around them. Get down there for the slide. So he's able to take off. We know it. It's something that the Baltimore Ravens are going to have to be prepared for. So just as kind of a takeaway from Josh Allen, I didn't focus too much on some of his regular throwing abilities. I think you guys watched enough previews that you've seen it. I really want to focus on those two things, because I really think those extended plays, whether it be through the air or through the ground, that's where those game-breaking plays can be made. And we know that because we see it every week with Lamar Jackson. So it's all going to be about who can contain the quarterback the best. I don't think you're going to shut either one down, even though the Ravens did shut them down in week 4. But I don't think either quarterback's getting shut down necessarily, but you need to be able to contain some of that big play ability. And then I wanted to take a look at James Cook, because he's had a hell of a season. Like, tons of credit for this kid. It's one of those funny things when I've heard Bills fans talk about how Josh Allen has no help, and then I go and watch James Cook. I'm like, what the hell are y'all talking about? You got a top 10 running back here. I'd say he's a top 10 running back. I don't know about the rest of you, but that's kind of my take. So what he likes to do, and what the Bills like to do, is they like to press this C gap. And so, or I shouldn't even say C gap, they basically run it towards the tackle's ass. So kind of more off tackle, but it's not just zone. They'll use a lot of pullers, whether that be a power, like a straight power with, the left guard pulling with down blocks. You can see this hilarious alignment. Look at Deion Dawkins. What the hell is he doing? Just watch Deion Dawkins. I'll go back and play it through. Watch Deion Dawkins. Bam, smack him in the back of the head. Just one of the funniest. I love watching Deion Dawkins. He's hilarious. But this is one thing that they're going to have to be prepared for, because there's basically what James Cook wants to do, and you'll see it here. He's going to take that ball. He's going to press. And then as he presses, see right there, that's Spencer Brown. So he's going to press the outside butt cheek of the right tackle. He's either bouncing it back into the A gap and going backside, or he's cutting it out wide. He's not like a Derrick Henry where he's going to kind of run into the traffic here and just push the pile. He's either cutting it out or he's breaking it inside. And that's a key to me, because our edge defenders, and this is where having a guy like Odafe Owe, who's kind of your starting edge, who's also really good against the run, is so critical. Because you're going to see they do this a lot too. You got Khalil Shakir. They got, hold on, explain this a little bit better. They got their tight end split out a full gap. Then they filled that with Mac Hollins, and then they have Khalil Shakir outside. So they've stacked it, and the Broncos need to be prepared to be able to contain that edge. And so as you're going to see right here, that edge defender gets sucked to the inside of Dawson Knox, and James Cook's able to beat the DB around the corner because he's got that elusive speed. So that's where setting the edge is so important, forcing those cutbacks. We'll take a look at two teams that did a really good job against Cook and how that kind of worked out for them when they were able to do that. Set that edge and collapse that backside. Two of the best ways to limit him. Forcing those 2, 3, 4 yard runs, trying to keep them out of third and short. I think that's critical to this game. One thing they're going to have to do. You're going to see it here. So up the middle and then break outside. So again, this one's a little bit more of an up the middle run, but you can see those blocks they get up front. They clear out right there, and then there's that puller. And that's what I mean. They're not a zone team. They feel like a finesse zone team because James Cook cuts it outside and so fast. But you're going to see right here, they're going to get down blocks on the right side. 76 is going to pull around, hit his block, and then solid blocks downfield. James Cook goes over 10 yards there. Here we go against the Detroit Lions, who he ran really well against. You're going to see him there once again. So this is going to be a nice little counterplay. So he's going to come inside. They're going to get a pull from the center. He's going to get out in front. And then there we go, getting him out in space, cutting it outside. DB misses. That's critical. When he gets out into that second level and we have DB stepping up, whether it be our Darius Washington, Kyle Hamilton, Brandon Stevens, Marlon Humphrey, obviously, Trey White, anybody that's out there need to be able to step up and make those tackles forced to the sideline, because they will do that. They'll use those pullers to come around and create those corners for him to kick outside and use his speed. That's where James Cook is at his best. Here we get another one. I believe he goes off left tackle here. And then there's that puller, right? So this is what I'm talking about. These aren't just zone runs. So they're going to take the right tackle, Spencer Brown, and they're going to pull him around, get him into the linebacker, and then there we go for a nice little run, and we're up the middle, little hair pull, gets in there. I believe it was a 48-yard touchdown. So he's able to do things like that. That's some pretty impressive work. And the Bills scheme it really well by using those pullers, because those pullers take care of those first defenders. And James Cook isn't a guy that you want to be running physically through someone. You want him to be able to use his elusive skills, cut off those blocks. So one team that did pretty well against him was Kansas City Chiefs. And that was more in a yardage. I think he had 2 touchdowns on the goal line. I think he had a 8-yard touchdown, a 3-yard touchdown. But I think he was contained to 22 yards on 10 carries, 2.2. So that's what I mean. They contained him pretty well. And what they did is they set a hard edge. They set a hard edge, and then their linebackers come downhill. Plus, they have the speed in the secondary. Leo Chanel, Drew Tranquil, 2 guys that are very physical at the point of attack. And then you got Nick Bolton that can chase. And that's what we need from the Baltimore Ravens linebackers. They need Roquan Smith to be going sideline to sideline, reckless abandon. When Malik Harrison's in there, he needs to be as physical as a Leo Chanel. He needs to be able to step up and hit bodies. And then you're going to see right here on this first play, George Karlaftis, that edge player. So that's kind of what I'm expecting from Odafe Oweh's role, to be kind of that edge setter that can also get after the quarterback. And so you'll see it here. They're going to try and go to the right. And you see Karlaftis right there. So that's what I mean. He's going to get out there, and he's going to force that cutback. So he gets out there, he presses, he forces that cutback. And then we need guys coming downhill. We need Travis Jones pressing from the inside, and then the backside linebacker to get up there, and you see getting chased down on that tackle. So that's critical to me. See right here, they're going to go outside. You got Leo Chanel is actually lined up here across from the tight end on the right side of your screen. That's Leo Chanel. Watch him pursue to the sideline. See him recognize that. And what he's doing that whole time is maintaining that edge. And you can see right there, he takes it all the way to the sideline. Well, the reinforcements come from the backside of the run. And then Nick Bolton, who's going to be in that Roquan Smith role, watch him. As soon as that toss comes, look at that speed. So he's going to miss the tackle there, but they have enough reinforcements, and Leo Chanel is able to contain that edge. Contain the edge, force the cutback, and clean it up. That's the key to me against James Cook. See it again here. Going to go up the middle, and then right here, 13's got to step up, make that tackle. So again, those overhang defenders, those second-level defenders, they're surprising here is they have 2 tight ends. The Bills do on the right side of their line, left side of your screen, and George Karlaftis stays in just outside the offensive tackle's shoulder. So that's because they have that corner to the outside. But if they were running stretch zone off the right side here, off those tight ends, be a pretty good mismatch for them. Instead, they're going to go up the middle, but Cook sees that and wants to cut that outside. And there's where those secondary guys need to be able to make those tackles, push to the sideline, and contain them. We go into the matchup against the Ravens earlier this year. I thought they did a really good job. I believe they didn't have Michael Pierce in this game. So you'll have Travis Jones in here, but they didn't have Pierce. And here's what I'm expecting when the Bills go heavy. You got Brody Washington, Travis Jones, Matabike. Then you got Tavius Robinson and Malik Harrison. So this was when Trent Simpson was playing. But this could, Tavius Robinson could be a healthy play this week with, his ability against the run. But here you're going to see the Ravens match them with a bare front. And that's a really good look for what they want to do in this, because those edge players can focus on setting that edge, meaning that the other 2 defensive tackles outside of the nose can press their gaps. And what that's going to do is eat blockers for the linebackers to make plays. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. They're going to try and go off the left side. And you can see right there, Malik Harrison setting that edge, doing what he does so well. And James Cook he's going to take this ball, go at the tackle. He's either pressing that outside and he's trying to bounce it, he's cutting it back. He's going to cut it back here. Kyle Hamilton's going to step up. So James Cook gets about 6 yards on that play. So that's a healthy gain for sure. But they need those linebackers to step up a little bit quicker. And when the secondary guys like Kyle Hamilton or Darius Washington, all those guys, when they step up, they need to be able to step up and make those tackles. Kyle Hamilton does make the tackle there, limits a big game, but you can see how they washed out the D-line in doing so. Once again on here, watch Kyle Van Noy on this. Watch this physicality. So you're going to see him step up and set the edge against Spencer Brown on the right side of their line, right there. See that right there? See him cutting back inside? That's what we need from the Ravens edge to players all day. Step up, set that, force them inside, and then there's your cavalry, and that's where Roquan Smith came in. Watch Roquan Smith go in and make this hit. Watch. Boom. So that's what they need to do. Funnel that back inside, funnel it into the strength of your defense. Guys like Michael Pierce, guys like Travis Jones, guys like Matabike that can get off their blocks, be able to make that, and then the linebackers come in as the reinforcement. That's what's going to be successful against this run game. Going to go back outside, and you're going to see that cutback. There's Trent Simpson filling in that moving. He's kind of on the backside of the C gap here. He's going to step up. Or sorry, that was Brandon Stevens. Sorry, I saw the 2. So he, again, secondary player coming down. He's going to come downhill. Boom, make that tackle, and then there's Travis Jones jumping on him, forcing that cutback, setting the edge. Very, very critical. Right here, they're going to stack, and then there's James Cook. We just saw him almost the exact same play. They got double tight. Well, they have the 2 wide receivers with the wide tight end. We talked about that at the start of the play, at the start of the clips of Cook. So they're going to do this again, and Cook is going to see it, and he's going to try and bounce it. And then there's Kyle Hamilton. Eddie Jackson gets credited with the tackle, but this play was made by Kyle Hamilton. Once again, very critical that those edge players, those edge secondary players, are able to step up and make tackles. Kyle didn't finish the tackle, obviously disrupted enough for the reinforcements to get there. But you're seeing that tendency from James Cook. Take that ball off tackle and either bounce it or cut it back into the backside kind of B gap. And that's going to be pretty consistent throughout this matchup. There he tries to cut it back through the B gap, but again, D-line's there, ready to take care of business. Press that front side, cut it back to the B gap. It's constant. Same thing every play. So really what's key to me against this run game is getting penetration from your D-line, blowing up those gaps and eating double teams as much as possible, because what that's going to do is it's going to it's going to force those cutbacks and be able to allow your linebackers to mitigate the speed of James Cook and be able to get bodies on bodies. So that's what I'm looking at. That's the most critical thing. If you guys enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button. Drop a comment down below with your score prediction. Let's hear it. And as always, thank you to BetUS for sponsoring this video.